Hello viewers, welcome to Classic Biology channel. In the last video, we have seen about the same human physiology, digestion and absorption. Part 1 we have seen. In that part 1, under the topic or under this website, YouTube video, I have explained question number 1 to 25. In that we have discussed about the parts which are present in the digestive system. Okay, but in this video we are going to see about the same human physiology, digestion and absorption. In that, certain diseases which are related to the digestive system and the enzymes which are involved in the digestive system, what is the function served by them, and certain glossary related to the digestive system we are going to see in this video. Let us go to the video now. The first term is ampulla of water, and it is a common duct called hepatopancreatic duct. In the diagram it is given here. I have showed you the arrow mark here also. So this particular portion is called as ampulla of water, we see. Okay, then the second one, crypts of Langerhans. So in the diagram it is mentioned in this area. So this particular area, it is called as crypts of Langerhans. These are some of the technical terms which is not mentioned in all the textbooks. Okay, so that only I am giving some importance to these terms. Okay, now the next one, falciform ligament. So it is the part which is separating the lobes of the liver, which are called as the falciform ligament. So in the diagram, this part, it is called as the calciform ligament. So this portion, exactly this area, which we call it as the falciform ligament. Okay, then the next one we have the gastric ragae, and in the diagram it is mentioned that gastric ragae or rugae. Okay, so that we call it as folds in the wall of the stomach are called as the gastric ragae, we are saying, or the rugae, we are saying. In certain books ragae they are given, in certain books they are given rugae. Okay, the next term is Glissen's capsule. So here in the diagram it is mentioned that it is called the Glissen's capsule, you are saying. Actually Glissen's sheath is this one, and actually the definition, a thin connective tissue sheath which covers the hepatic lobules. So that we call that as the Glissen's capsule, you see. And then next one we have the goblet cells. So this already we have seen in the first video itself. So the mucus secreting glands on the small intestine are called as the goblet cells. The next one more term you have called haustra, which is the pouch-like dilation which are found in the colon. That we call it as the haustra, we are saying. Okay. Next one is cholecystitis, we are saying. That we call it as the inflammation of the gallbladder is called cholecystitis. Then the next one we have the hepatitis. So all of you may be familiar with this. So what is the meaning of hepatitis A? Actually, it is nothing but the inflammation of the liver is referred to as hepatitis A. Then the next one, hernia we have. So the meaning of hernia is when an organ or fatty tissue squeezes through a weak spot in a surrounding muscle or connective tissue, that we call it as the hernia we are saying. So due to that, generally male will be affected because of this hernia a lot. Now let us go to the question session. So now the question number 26. How pepsin is different from trypsin? So when you are taking this question, how pepsin is different from trypsin, 4 options are given. First one, it digests proteins in acidic medium, it digests protein in alkaline medium. We know that the pepsin is responsible only for the digestion of protein. So this carbohydrate, that is C and D, it won't come. Then when we are taking these two, it digests protein in the acidic medium, which cannot digest in the alkaline medium. So the pepsin will be digesting the protein only in the acidic medium. Here one more we have the trypsin, which will be digesting in the alkaline medium. So in that way the pepsin is different from trypsin. So here the option is the A. So A to digest protein in acidic medium. This is the correct answer. Question number 27. How are the epidermal cells in the stomach of vertebrate animals is protected against HCl? We know that the HCl is an acid. So generally the acids, they are corrosive in nature. So when the HCl is produced in the stomach, automatically the epidermal cells may be corroded or may be affected. So the question here is, how are epidermal cells in the stomach of vertebral animal is protected against this HCl? First one, of course, the HCl is neutralized in the stomach. Of course, it is right. But related to this question, the answer is wrong, we are saying. And HCl is a dilute. It is also wrong. None of this. It is also wrong. But the correct answer is epidermal cells covered with the secretion of mucus or due to the presence of mucus bicarbonate barriers. So these barriers are protecting the epidermal cells against the HCl. Okay. Question number 28. Enterokinase takes part. Actually, this enterokinase is secreted by the intestinal mucosa, and their main function is converting the trypsinogen into trypsin. So the correct option for this is B. Whereas this pepsinogen into pepsin and protein into polypeptide and casinogen into casein, these are the wrong answers when this enterokinase question is concerned. When we are saying that enterokinase takes part in conversion of trypsinogen into trypsin. So that is the correct option. That is the option B is the correct one. Question number 29. Secretin stimulates the production of saliva, they have given. Saliva is secreted by the salivary gland and gastric juice. It is also wrong. Bile is related to the liver. So the correct option is pancreatic juice. So secretin stimulates the production of pancreatic juice. So this is the correct option for this question. Question number 30. Cholesterol is synthesized in Brunner's gland, liver, spleen, pancreas. So the correct answer for this is option B. Question number 31. What is common among amylase, renin and trypsin? So the correct answer for this one is all are proteins, proteolytic enzyme produced in stomach. None of this is given. So the correct answer for this one is all are proteins, or all are made up of by means of proteins. So the option A is the correct answer for this. Question number 32. Pepsin is secreted by parietal cells of stomach, zymogen cells of stomach, zymogen cells of duodenum, none of this. But it is a open question. Pepsin is secreted by parietal cells of stomach. So the option A is the correct answer for this. Question number 33. Hormones that stimulates stomach to secrete gastric juice is. The first one, if you are taking renin, it is an enzyme. Enterokinase, it's also an enzyme. And endrogastron, it is also an enzyme. Whereas the gastrin, it is a hormone. So the correct option for this question is D. So gastrin stimulates stomach to secrete gastric juice. So the option D is the correct answer for this. Question number 34, which is asked in the NEET 2015. Which of the following statement is? Here we have to observe that not correct they have asked. Sometimes what we used to do is we do not notice this not. So we must be very careful while you are answering. So which of the following statement is not correct? So first one, if you are taking, Brunner's glands are present in the submucosa of stomach and secrete pepsinogen. So this is wrong. Goblet cells are present in the mucosa of intestine and secrete mucus, which is right. Oxyntic cells are present in the mucosa of stomach and they secrete the HCl, which is also right. Acini are present in the pancreas and secrete carboxypeptidase, so which is also right. So answer B is correct one, C is correct one, D is correct one. But the question is which is not correct. So the option A is the correct answer for this. Question number 35. Which hormone stimulate the production of pancreatic juice and bicarbonate, which is asked in the NEET exam in the year 2016. And when we are taking about the insulin and glycogen, angiotensin and epinephrine, gastrin and insulin, they are no way connected with this. But whereas this cholecystokinin and the secretin are the hormones, whereas the remaining are all are called as, of course they are also gastrin, it is a hormone, but insulin, it is an enzyme produced by the pancreatic juice, of course. But here the question is the hormones which are stimulating the production of pancreatic juice and bicarbonates. So the cholecystokinin and secretin are the hormones which are responsible for the production of pancreatic juice as well as the bicarbonate. So the option A is the correct answer for this question. Question number 36, which is a simple one and which is asked in the NEET examination during 2016. The question is, in the stomach, gastric acid is secreted by the gastrin secreting cells, parietal cells, peptic cells and acidic cell. So the correct option for this one is the parietal cells, which are responsible for the secretion. Okay. Question number 37. Calorific value of lipid is. So here they are given the numeral. So for this type of questions, there's no other go. You have to by heart only the numbers. So here the answer is 9.45 kilocalories, you are saying. So the option B is the correct answer for this. That is, calorific value of lipids is 9.45 kilocalories. Question number 38. What is colitis? Here when we are taking the inflammation of esophagus, it is called esophagitis. So it is not the correct answer. Inflammation of esophagus is called esophagitis. Coming for the second one, inflammation of the stomach, it is called as the gastritis. So it is also wrong. So the first one, inflammation of esophagus, is called as esophagitis. Inflammation of the stomach is called gastritis. Third one, inflammation of the duodenum, it is called duodenitis. So it is also wrong. So the inflammation of inner lining of colon is called as colitis. So inflammation of esophagus is called esophagitis. Second one, gastritis, duodenitis. The fourth one is colitis. So the correct option for this one is D. So D is the correct option for this. Okay. Question number 39. Indigestion may be due to. So the problem may be arised. What's the problem? Indigestion problem may be arised due to inadequate enzyme secretion. So the required amount of enzyme may not be secreted. So that we are saying it as inadequate. So it is also a reason. Then anxiety, and because of anxiety also the indigestion may be taking place. And when we are taking the food, sometimes the food poisoning may be taking place, and this food poisoning also responsible for the indigestion. Sometimes when we are eating, overeating, the food may be so delicious, so we may eat more and more, and at the same time, if the food contains more amount of spicy material in it, that also will be causing the indigestion. So all these four, that is inadequate enzyme secretion, anxiety, food poisoning, overeating and spicy food, all of these are responsible for the indigestion. So the correct option for this one is E. Question number 40. Here the question is, poor intake of fiber in the diet and lack of physical activities leads to. So this is taking place nowadays more because the people are not taking the sufficient amount of fiber, because if the fibers are present in the diet or in our food, the elimination process or the excretion process will be more or easy. Second one, lack of physical activities. Nowadays, people are always sitting with the mobile. So, the physical activity is reduced a lot. So, as a result of this, poor intake of fiber and the lack of physical activities may lead to, first one, indigestion. The previous one only we have seen that inadequate enzyme secretion, anxiety, food poisoning, overeating, spicy food, all may be reason for the indigestion, but not for the poor intake of fiber. So this is wrong. Second one, vomiting. So this is due to the food poisoning, vomiting may be taking place, or due to ill health, the vomiting may be taking place. And when you are coming for the C, jaundice, we all know that jaundice is nothing but the liver is get affected. That we call it as the jaundice. So once if all these three are wrong, automatically constipation. So what is the meaning of constipation? Here we are saying. So the feces, that is the waste material formed in our body after the digestion, are retained within the rectum because of lack of poor take fiber in the diet and due to the lack of physical activities, and this process may lead to a condition called constipation, we are saying. So the correct option for this question is D. Question number 41. Degeneration and destruction of liver cells may be leads to a condition called fibrosis, and that we call it as, what are the options they are given? Liver cirrhosis, jaundice, PEM. PEM stands for protein energy malnutrition. PEM stands for protein energy malnutrition. The option D, none of these they are given. So once if you are taking the first one, the liver cirrhosis, it is a chronic disease of the liver, and as a result of that only the degeneration and the destruction of liver cells will be taking place. That condition we call it as the fibrosis, and the name of the disease is called liver cirrhosis. Yes, this PEM, no way it is related, because we call this on protein energy malnutrition, we are saying. Jaundice, of course, which affects the liver, okay, but here the degeneration and the destruction of liver cells is called the liver cirrhosis. So the answer for this one is, the option is A. Question number 42. Excessive accumulation of extracellular matrix proteins including collagen that occurs in most type of chronic liver disease is. The options are fibrosis, jaundice, PEM. that is protein energy malnutrition. When we are taking D, none of this they are given, then protein energy malnutrition, it is also wrong, and jaundice, which is caused because of due to the infection of virus or some other condition. But whereas the fibrosis, the previous question we have seen that the fibrosis is a chronic liver disease, yes. Chronic, we have two types of disease, acute disease and chronic liver disease. So this chronic in the sense which will be a little bit dangerous. So that we call it as excessive accumulation of extracellular matrix protein, including collagen, that occurs in most type of chronic disease is fibrosis. So the correct option for this question is A. Okay. Question number 43. Here they are given column 1 and column 2. Question is, which of the following combinations are not matched? So when you are taking, let us come from the D. Salivary gland they are given. Salivary gland, parotid. So which is matched. Okay. And digestion of fat. For that we need the lipase enzyme. Hydrolysis of starch. For that we need the enzyme called amylases. Bilirubin and biliverine. These are the pigments which are formed due to the destruction of RBCs in the graveyard of RBC. We used to say an organ called spleen. But here the column 2, it contains the intestinal juice. So this is wrong. So our question is not matched correctly. So the option, what we have to say it as D is the option. Is it clear? Question number 44. Appendix may rupture and results in infection of stomach is called. The four options are appendicitis, peritonitis, peristaltic, none of this. When you are taking the first option, appendicitis, so this is a condition which is caused due to the inflammation of the vermiform appendix. That we call it as the appendicitis, you are saying. So which is not the correct one. Maybe due to the rupture and results in infection, and that we call it as peritonitis, yes, because peristaltic movement we observe in the case of esophagus, and D is none of this. So the correct option for this one, B, peritonitis. So you have to select the option as B. Is it clear? Question number 45. Ulcer is caused by Helicobacter pylori, coronavirus, hepatitis virus, none of this. When you are taking about this hepatitis virus, which will be affecting the liver, but generally the ulcer, what we call it as the eroded area of the tissue lining in the stomach or the duodenum, that we call it as ulcer. But here hepatitis is nothing but it is the liver portion. So and next to one virus it is caused. So once hepatitis virus means automatically the liver will be affected. But the ulcer which is caused only in the stomach region or in the duodenum region. So C is the wrong answer. Coronavirus. All of us we know that. Then none of these are the Helicobacter pylori. So we have the bacteria and which is causing the ulcer due to the infection of the stomach region. So due to the infection of the Helicobacter pylori, we get the condition or the disease called ulcer. So you have to choose the option as A. Hope these 20 questions may be useful for you people to write the NEET examination and other competitive examination. And the other, that is Human Physiology Part 1, Reproductive Health 1, Amniocentesis, Assisted Reproductive Technology, IVF or Test Tube Baby, I have given the link. If you are interested, just click on the link and watch it. Thank you.